Cuomo said today in an interview that he would not accept the endorsement of President Trump, but he would accept the endorsement of Eric Adams, who recently dropped out of the race. His exact words were, "No, the tent isn't that big, Kristen. That's the limitation. I have not had a conversation, nor would I accept an endorsement from President Trump." Then he says that he doesn't think we need to inject President Trump into this election, which is really funny because Trump has made no secret of the fact that he would prefer to have Cuomo win over Zohran Mamdani. And it's really kind of comedic to watch a person who is applying right for mayor, which is a job that will entail having to deal with the U.S. president, tell us, "Oh, yeah, we don't need to talk about him." But really, you have to ask yourself, and this is why we should have what are called anti-endorsements. If Trump is so antagonistic towards Mamdani, but he's like, "Oh, Cuomo is whatever," he's not like necessarily waving cheerleading for him, but he's a lot less antagonistic to his candidacy. That should tell you something. Trump believes that if Cuomo is elected mayor, he's not going to do anything to move the needle, to actually challenge him in any, or even just like the system at B, right? The unaffordability of a lot of these major cities. And for that reason, he's preferable to him. Whereas somebody like Mamdani, who I'm not even necessarily convinced is going to be this big radical who will transform the city, but I do think will most certainly be better than him. And I have to say, it's crazy to think about how Cuomo and Trump are a lot alike. They're both from different parties. Well, Trump used to be a Democrat until he flipped, but they are both products of NYC. They've had different allegations of misconduct that have emerged. I think Cuomo's were a hell of a lot more severe than Trump's. They drove him out of the governor's mansion. And I'm going to just say this. There's something really fishy about Democratic, because voters are rejecting Cuomo. That's why a guy that no one ever heard of before this year, Mamdani, has been doing so well compared to him. But there's something really disgusting about Democratic operatives, right? These different politicians and commentators that they pay to put on TV and spew their nonsense. These are the same people who said that Trump was bad for having allegations against him, whether it was with this whole Miss Universe stuff or the E. Jean Carroll thing. We can go down the list. The same people who would tell you Trump was bad for having those allegations, when they see that Cuomo was literally forced out of the governor's mansion because of how many women were saying that he did something to them, and all the evidence they had, the pictures, the emails, all the different semblances of proof that they had, they don't say anything. Total crickets. And we don't even have to bring up him allowing people to die in those nursing homes during the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's not even mention the train wreck that he was as governor in that regard. We're speaking simply about the similarity he and Trump have with these allegations. Although I think Cuomo's are a lot more severe, but it really shows you just how backwards U.S. politics can be, where a person who can be accused of something like that, a predator, right? They have no problem sliding back into office and having a 30 to 40 or even 50% chance of winning. So I hope, because we only have one more month to go, I hope the city of New York says to Cuomo that it wants him even less than the state of New York wanted him after he was exposed that second to last time. And it's just amazing that the U.S. president, who himself has had these allegations, they're all teaming up. They're all buddies. Like, you won't see Trump directly endorse Cuomo, but he's his preferred person. Because look at the specific shots that he takes at Mamdani. Is the communist, you're going to elect the communist. Well, hell, you don't even live in New York anymore. Let's not forget, Trump went from New York to Florida, right, to get those tax breaks. So it's like, why are you so invested in this race? Because he's buddies with Cuomo, and that he wants his friend to get reinstalled in some position of power. And I hope the voters will tell him that will not be the case.